Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Brown here. I hope you're doing well. Please excuse my hoodie. It's St. Patrick's Day. This is the greenest thing I have, and I'm recording this on our conference day. Want to take a few minutes here to take you through the results of the thought exchange that you recently participated in about how things are going in grades 6 through 12 as we've done a new model. So what I'm going to do here is share my screen and bring up the presentation. And let me get it rolling here. Okay, so the essential question that you were asked to participate in was, we are 7 months into a 3-year process of moving from a 6 through 8 middle school and a 9 through 12 high school to a 6-12 model. What were some of the important things that you wanted to tell us about your child's experience so far? And this was sent out to teachers, to students, and to parents of kids in grades 6 through 12. We had 221 participants, which I think is awesome. Of those 221 people, 110 people shared their thoughts about what they thought was going on. And then there were 3,637 ratings, which is a large number. It means that even if you didn't participate in putting a thought in, you saw one that you agreed with or could get behind, and you put a star next to it. So how did this break out? I thought we had great representation. We had 89 school employees, 78 parents or guardians, and 58 students, which I think is a great balance for a question of this type. Every thought exchange creates a word cloud, and the larger the word, the more it appeared in the thoughts and comments that were provided by you. So here you can see words like stretched and presence and thin and administration as some of the larger words that were in there, and those will be reflected in some of the comments that were given. So of the top thoughts, so the thoughts that rated the highest at this point, 7 months in, people are feeling that one principal for both buildings seems like an impossible task. At least consider adding a second assistant principal so each building has one dedicated to them. We'll take that to heart. For those of you who aren't familiar with how things have worked in the past, we used to have in the high school a dean of students who was also a counselor. That individual retired, and we were able to replace that individual with an assistant principal for the high school at no additional cost to the district. At the middle school, what we currently have, and I should say that individual is the 612 assistant principal. Sorry for misspeaking on that. We also in the middle school have a halftime dean of students who also teaches halftime. So what we're going to have to do here, based on this feedback and conversations I've had with the Board of Education, is we'll have to do some kind of retooling and revamping so that we can provide what you're asking for without additional cost to the district. And so you'll hear more about that as probably the weeks go on here. And also, there's also a thought for the middle school needing their own home base from middle school employees. There used to be a 7 through 12 only for a very long time, but it's been a 6 through 8 and a 9 through 12 for a while. And now this year, going back to a 6 through 12 is different. And we're seeing that in some of the comments that are here. People needing or wanting an administrator in the middle school. And like I said, we'll respond to that just in a way that's not going to have any additional impact on the budget, which means we have to do some shifting around of how we currently do things to make that happen. Student support piece, what we're finding, and I'm sure what most schools are finding, is that we're closing the academic gaps post-pandemic more quickly than we're closing the behavior gaps post-pandemic. Just the maturity level and the socialization level of our students is just a little bit behind. I think you can say that across the United States based on the pandemic. We see it in the news and we read about it. And so one of the pieces that we've got to continue to do is work with everyone to make sure that consequences are correcting behaviors. But at the same time, the current commissioner wants us to make sure that our students are getting educated so that we're finding alternate ways for students to get educated who maybe are not behaving in a way to continue to be in our general programs that we have. Positive feedback. People want the nurse's office to be more centralized. That's a good point. Right now, we're actually revamping the nurse's office in the high school, which is why the nurse's office is in the middle school right now. Once that nurse's office is completed, the nurse's office will go back to the high school, which is actually a close walking distance to the middle school as well. It's my hope to be able to use where the nurse's office is now in the middle school and a couple of other spaces for a health clinic for our students to go with our food pantry that we just started as well, so that we have all kinds of services that students need right here in the building. A lot of praise and positives for Mr. Pasho and Mrs. Osika, who are the principal and assistant principal, and just the need for them to get some additional help to make sure that they can do their jobs and service people the way that they want to be serviced. So some of the recommendations for feedback, it just seems like people enjoyed having someone in the middle school area more permanently. And again, we'll work to address that. And then the nurse's office going to be a little more centralized, and that's going to happen. So just got to give us a couple of weeks here. And again, any changes that we make won't have any impact on the budget. They'll have impact on staffing, but no impact on the overall budget. So what will we do now? Well, I've had a chance to look at the data for, a week or two now, and have put some things together, have talked with our Board of Education about next steps. And now it's time to roll those out, and I'll be keeping you informed as always as those next steps get rolled out. And I appreciate you participating in this thought exchange. I think it's important that we get your feedback and then actually use your feedback. It's one thing to get it, it's another thing to use it. And hopefully what you're seeing from us is that when we ask you for input, we take it and we use it. So thanks again for watching. Be safe this St. Patrick's